Hello, Sean Sands from Gamers with Jobs, back with more Kerbal Space programs. Nope, we're going to keep that. That's my fault. I'm going to live with it. I'm going to embrace it because this has been a morning of mistakes. Here's a tip for here's a pro tip, like just from a clearly professional YouTube audio person. When you start your recording your video, just go ahead and check if that mic's plugged in. Just go ahead and take a quick look to see if that microphone is plugged into your computer or literally anything that records audio, because if it's not, I mean, it doesn't, obviously it doesn't work. We're going to Eve. I did, so it didn't miss a ton. Well, it depends on what you like here. Plan here is to go to Eve, just like we talked about last time. I have built the rocket that I think I'm going to use. We haven't launched or anything like that, so hopefully, nothing too big, nothing too bad as far as things you missed. A lot of me just hemming and hawing and talking about, what rocket parts are and what they do and how they work and which one did I forget. And oh yeah, like 10 times I realized the thing I forgot, and still I'm sure there are dozens. So we're about to take a look at a rocket that we're going to try and send to Eve. It is ugly. It is ugly. It is an ugly thing. It is crazy, ridiculous, stupid, expensive. I made a great John Hammond spare no expense joke. So you missed that. Sorry. This is the bottom of it. We are using some of the new parts. One of the things I loved is I really dug in and messed around with the engine plate on the bottom using these new Kerbodyne KE1 Mastodon liquid fuel engines. So I threw an engine plate down here and I put 4 of these bad boys on the bottom, along with these kickback solid boosters to get us started on our way. Our first 2 stages, which is all just this, should get us into orbit. I'm looking here and I'm seeing about 4,000 plus delta V, which should be about what we need to get into orbit and get going. We have our second stage here with an old-fashioned skipper engine on it. You can see it right there. That's going to hopefully be most of our transfer burn and maybe even some of our orbit. Frankly, if we can just get started on the transfer burn with this, we're finishing it out with the Nuke Nerve atomic rocket motor. And I learned, look, I put just plain liquid fuel fuselages on here. They don't have any oxidizers, so you guys helped. You did that. Somebody right there, maybe watching this video, maybe gave up a while back, at some point wrote down, Sean, you don't need oxidizer for nuclear engines. And it had an impact. It traveled through the internet. It went through my eyeballs. It processed in my brain. And eventually I said, I don't need oxidizer for these. So this is our stage to encounter Eve and come home, because we're sending a Kerbal on this one. We're not just probing this one. That sounds gross. So here's the mission. And then we'll walk through how I built it. We are going to go to Eve. Okay, that seems obvious. We are going to establish an orbit. We are going to do some Kerbal science up there. And then we are going to detach a lander probe to float down to Eve itself, land on the planet, and send back some additional science up and home. And then we're going to bring our Kerbal home. I haven't put the crew in. We're not sending Jeb. Jeb is too precious to me to send on a mission like this. Interestingly, Valentina actually has more experience than Jeb, which I kind of love, but is also our only other pilot. So Valentina gets the call to go to Eve. Lucky her. Here is what this all looks like. So this is our main tiny crew compartment where Valentina will live the next few years, presumably. We have our Science Junior, we have our power, we have our battery, we have our communicatron, we have our Kerbal engineering, we have science, and that is all stuff to use in Eve orbit, and then of course to be able to come home. And we have this ready to go as our final lander. Up here, we have the actual landing probe, which is using one of the Probodovidine HECS. It has some photovoltaic panels here. I hemmed and hawed for a while and decided I was a little worried about the atmosphere of Eve influencing our ability to gain energy. And of course, we know that transmitting science can be quite costly. So we put some more photovoltaic panels. Like, again, this is probably where I was like doing my whole John Hammond, like we're just going to spend the hell out of this thing. Like I've been so efficient up till now, just like watching every penny and every drop of fuel. I have not. So we have some more science in here, including our gravimeter, something, and all the other science that you well know and have seen before. We have this tiny little engine, mostly just to get us a atmospheric encounter with Eve, and then we'll let the parachutes do the rest. So we go to Eve, we detach this thing, we drop it in the atmosphere, we hopefully land it. We included landing legs, so that was smart. And it lands and sends back science, and then we bring Valentina home and we make even more science. And that's the plan. That's the whole thing. This big, giant, stupid, ugly-looking ship will hopefully get us into space. We have some RCS here. We have our main reaction wheel. We have RCS thrusters on here. We've checked our staging. Those detach. Then nope, those don't detach together. Why would you wait? Do they? Oh yeah, because this is the engine plate. For some reason, the engine plate has stage. I'm not totally sure why still. So that is correct. And then we activate the skipper. We detach that. We bring the nerve engine online. We will have deployed the fairing long before this point. And then we're going to detach the probe and control that. Yeah. So now the next job, and we call it the Juno DX, which I accidentally typed in. I did not mean to type it in. And then I became enamored with the name. And it was a whole, like there was a whole 30 seconds of me just going, yeah, let's do DX. That sounds amazing. So again, maybe this second take is better. So I think now is time to find our transfer window. So we're going to leave this. And we're 9 days, it says, from our Kerbal to Eve transfer window. So we're going to accelerate time and let those days fly by. Zip, zip. 4, 3, 2, 1. I assume it'll slow us down. It is slowing us down. Now we're going to get an evening launch. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Okay, that's fine. You can stop. So Kerbal to Eve. Now, as I understand it, when we get orbit, we are going to want to burn. I mean, obviously, we're going to want to burn retrograde because Eve is in a lower orbit than Duna is. So we're actually going to want to burn backwards and then come in. Presumably on this side of Eve, so that we get. I'm not sure I care that much. I also am not sure I care anything about Gilly as far as trying to get some sort of encounter with Eve's tiny, tiny moon. I'm not going to worry. We can make out a sort of audible on that when we want. I looked it up. I want to say that we want to burn. So at about here, about this angle, start burning out towards Eve. So we'll figure that out. We'll mess around with the counters and maneuver nodes and all sorts of stuff. But that's sort of the plan. Step 1, obviously, is actually put the vehicle in space and make sure it doesn't blow up on the launch pad, which remains a possibility. Yeah. All right. Let's do this. Let's go to Eve. I'm excited. Okay, good. That took a while to load. We'll turn on RCS. We'll turn on SAS. It's not wobbling as much as I might have expected it to. Throttle up, and then we'll throttle back a bit. And we're going to go in 3, 2, 1. Throttle that back a bit. Let the solid boosters do their work. Turn my desktop audio down a bit. There we go. And gonna try and turn this thing a bit. This is where we always go wrong. So let those RCS thrusters do their thing. Throttle down the main engine a bit. We are burning through that fuel. Here's the thing I didn't do. I didn't put these, I didn't give these things struts. So they're kind of wobbling up against the main vessel, but we are almost done with our solid boosters and detach. Let's get this thing turned over. Ugh. Don't love this launch profile, but it's fine. Apoap's at 52,000 meters. She loves to turn over, doesn't she? Get it up to 80,000, and we'll do the rest of the burn closer to the Apoaps. 70, 80. Oof. Oof. Oh, oh. RCS, you doing okay? Stop. What the hell was that about? I have completely lost control of this vehicle. We're still in the atmosphere. It must be an atmospheric effect of some kind. I think we still have 2 boosters on the bottom. Not sure that they're going to burn us in a line that I'm going to like very much. But we will see. We are losing speed a bit too. We may want to do that again. What was that jiggle thing? Doesn't feel like success. It's like, hey, you made it to space, and I'm like, that went bad. Two of our boosters just said, nope, never mind. I assume it was some issue with the engine plate. What happens when we burn these things? I think it's going to try and just jerk us right over. Oh yeah, it's pulling, but I might be able to burn out the last of this fuel through these engines and hold it well enough. It's an inauspicious start, that's for sure. Oh, she's kicking around a lot. Come on. You ugly beast. You monster. Come on. Alright, we will finish our circularization with the next stage. Go. Go. No, I don't like this launch at all. Everything about this is bad. We're past our Apoaps. Okay. We're going to do that again. We're going to do that again. All right. Revert to launch. I think we can still do it with this vehicle. I think we're going to have to... I don't think we're going to throttle up nearly as much here at the start and let the... You know what? Actually revert to vehicle somebody. Because I want to put some struts on those solid rocket boosters. Oh, no. That was... There we go. Wouldn't be one of my missions unless there was some last-minute duct tape thrown on the vehicle. All right. Sure. Still think we can pull this off. SAS on. RCS on. Very little thrust on the main engine. Let those solid rocket boosters do their work. Oh, gonna need a little more thrust. Okay. And I'm going to start turning her over a lot sooner. Not much. I mean, we don't want to have that thing where we start flipping over where I just can't keep it pointed in the right direction at all. But we are going to... I really did kind of beef up the engine sounds, by the way. I see you trying to tip over out of balance. Solid rocket boosters almost out. Throttle up main engine. Detach boosters. And good. Trying to keep it a little bit on that 90-degree line. It's a big, ugly vehicle. It's like flying a brick through a soup. Through a stew, even. Stew. Alright, now we can start bringing her over. I'm going to throttle her down a little more slowly so we don't get that wobble. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, I think I figured it out. I think I figured out what the problem is. We're going way too fast. Moment we hit that stupid, what do you call it? We got to keep it slower. All right. Interesting. Not the problem I expected to have. Now I gotta go through all this again. All right. A little bit of a throttle up. Zoom out. Bring her over softly. Gently. Don't let it wobble too much. Try and keep it on an even plane. Solid boosters, halfway complete. Let the RCS do its work. Solid boosters nearly exhausted. Detach. Don't let it flip over. Be a little more gentle on the throttle. It's like learning how to drive a stick. And I think it's fair to say that I've essentially just ground the clutch twice so far. But I mean, you learn. Don't want her going too far over yet. Accelerating at a much more reasonable rate here. Throttle it down even more. Till we're out of the heaviest part of the atmosphere. There we go. Not getting that oscillation I felt like I was getting before to the same degree, which is nice. Good, good, good. Apoap's at 34,000 feet. Feels like she's stabilizing out pretty decently. Still likes to turn on me. Turn. I say turn, I mean roll. Oh, 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 oh. Why does it do this? It just hates one of its engines. It's like, oh, we have to get rid of an engine. No matter what, we have to get rid of an engine. And now we're at 51. So the engine plate's the problem, maybe? Maybe they're sort of reacting to one another. We got to get moving again. That is so weird. I mean, I get why it wants to wobble. All right, we can still salvage this one, I think. It's just going to be ugly no matter what. Get that apoapse up. I think we're going to roll her straight over. Yeah. All right, this stage is nearly exhausted. Next stage is up. I'm going to detach the fairing. Save us some fuel. This stage has 2,700 delta V in it. We'll see. Didn't want to be burning this much of it in Kerbal, but yeah, it's where we find ourselves. So let's make the most of it. We still have 6,600 delta V in the tank. That should be enough. All right, we've hit space. Slowly approaching our apoapse. Still 2,000 delta V, 2,500 delta V in this tank. Well, it's nice to be driving a stable vehicle, I guess, right? That's something. That launch. I'm going to have to work on figuring out how those engine plates work. Why I was getting that oscillation. Maybe off-center somehow? Oh, we're going to cut here and get a little closer to our apoapse to get down to about 20 seconds. Get rid of it. Yeah, RCS is going to not do nearly as much as it once did for us. And 10 seconds to apoapse. I'm very close to circularizing. Ten, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Yeah, that'll do it for me. So not circular, but manageable. 1,900 delta V left in this stage. That should be enough to get us to Eve, right? I mean, this is still plenty. This is still got to be plenty. All right, Eve. We will set that as the target. We are orbiting this way. So we want to burn... When do we want to burn? All right, I'm going to check something over here. E-transfer burn. Going to old ksp.oliz.biz. Yeah, all right, so... Nope, that's due now. All right, so we do want to begin burning about 15, 20 degrees off of our retrograde orbit. So somewhere over, let's see, where's retrograde for us? Right, okay, we're looking at it. So I'm seeing a node right about here. We're going to add manure. And need to get it to come down here too. Does it need 1,800? That seems like more than I was thinking we'd need. Are we on a different plane? Yeah, that's part of the problem. Though honestly, that's not as far as I thought. Okay, so first of all, we actually need to get on this it's somewhat same plane as Eve, right? How do we do that? Do I see where it's... Because I don't see its ascending or descending node, because we don't really cross that, do we? Okay, I'm going to think about this. Let's see. All right, let's try that again. So this is the descending node, right? So this is actually where we need to adjust. We need to bring it down. Nope, the other way. Always the other way. That gives a sense of what the descending node is then? No, it doesn't. Oh, I'm hitting the radial or whatever it is. All right, let me look at this again. All right, so our closest intercept's actually somewhere over here, right? Okay, there it is. Closest approach is 712. Gonna come in at a really weird angle to it. $400, $300. $200, $100. No, one. All right, so this is clearly getting us somewhere, sort of. Well, to a degree. $140, $130. What does that look like? So the problem is we're coming in below it, right? So do we need to adjust a bit this way? Nope. 110. Oh, there we go. Okay. And Eve fairy apps. I get down to... If I can get any kind of encounter, I can adjust it from there, right? Or adjust it sort of on the fly. 60, 59, 58. T1, 50, 49. Nope. Nope. I'm tinkering with this so ridiculously. Okay, I mean, So show me what that actually looks like. We are 9 minutes from that burn. Okay, so we are coming in way underneath the planet. So I want to come in more on an even axis, sort of on its equatorial axis. All right, now how do I bring that in now? Yeah, slide it right on in. There you go. Okay, this is how I needed to do this. Bring it inside Gilly. Good. More. There we go. We can... Oh, there we go. Not too much. All right, now tell me... Well, we're back to coming underneath. I want to try and come in so our periapsis... yep, crash into Eve. That's a good idea. Which side of it are we actually coming in on? We actually do want to be on the... Like, it rotates clockwise, right? Right? Alright, I gotta stop tinkering with this. It's getting ridiculous. 120 is probably too close. I don't want to accidentally bump into its atmosphere. Because I don't actually know where its atmosphere... That's fine. I mean, we can change the maneuver, or not the maneuver, but the... As long as we're sort of on its... I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm saying things. They're things. They might be smart things. They might not. Frankly, I wouldn't bank on it either way. Let us save that node. Yes. Let's go to the Space Center real quick and go to the tracking station. To get back to our vessel. Probably not the smartest way to do it. Go into the Juno DX. We're just going to go with that burn. We're going to have to make adjustments anyway. We know that in advance. Some other things we can do include deploying our solar panels. And we have some up here too, don't we? We put some up here. Where'd they go? There they are. Very nice. Turn on SAS and RCS. Swing around. Wish it would give me the... Oh, yeah. Go to the maneuver round. Oh, sweet. Valentina, you're so smart. Look at how good you are at this now. I can just leave you right on that. Yeah, bring it in. Let's make sure we're not crashing into the planet. Oh, and we're not even quite going into its atmosphere. Excellent. So we dash 5 minutes ahead. That's going to be at least a minute burn. I'm going to start up at 45 seconds. Should be fine. Ten seconds. 5, 3, 2, 1, burn. Oh yeah, definitely a full minute, a little more than, which is fine because we're using the skipper here, so we weren't expecting a nice quick burn. Nice thing is we should still have gas left in this tank by the time we're done, which will allow us to do the maneuvering. It'll allow us to do, um, what do you call them? The gain our orbit at Eve, because that's going to need a good amount of delta V as well, I'm assuming. Since I am not planning to use any sort of atmospheric braking, though I could consider it. I don't know, that Eve's atmosphere is scary to me. It's terrifying. All right, halfway through our burn, a little over. Valentina's on course. I love having the little maneuver button right there. $200 delta V, cut it around 50, and then kind of dial it in from there very carefully. Five, four, three, two. I'm just going to turn on stability assist. Turn SAS, turn off RCS. See how we did? Pretty good, all things considered. Electric charge holding nicely. Do a quick save. And we will zip out here somewhere. 71 days. So we have slowed down relative to Kerbal as it zips off into the distance and we wander into the vastness of space. So we have slowed down, yes. You can see Kerbal kind of dashing ahead of us as we drop into this lower orbit with Eve. And we're going to come in another 43 days. But I think we're going to stop it there. We're going to pick up next time with our Eve encounter and dropping a probe, landing it on Eve. Do we still have good? We have no communication. Why don't we have communication? Because we have not extended our antenna. Let's just make sure that works. Extend antenna. We're not going to require complete. We are also going to extend the antenna on the probe. We do have communications reestablished. Where did I put that antenna? There it is. Extend antenna. We're not going to require complete. Very good. We have power. We have communications. We have a trajectory. We're going to Eve. We're going to do amazing things. Anyway, until next time, as always, my name is Sean Sands for Games with Jobs. So thank you for joining me for more Kerbal Space Program, and we will be back and see you again real soon.